What's up, everyone? Some really big Sisu updates that we're excited to share with you today. You'll notice when you log in, there will be a little update here talking about the new transaction screen. So the first thing you're going to notice, we actually did some research. As a team, we found that the most used screen in the entire platform is this transaction screen. One thing that's changed right off the bat is instead of being under admin transactions, that created some confusion. It's all just transactions now. So if you're an admin and you click on this screen, it will automatically take you to the admin transactions. If you're an agent and you click transactions, it's only going to show you your own transactions and not transactions for others on your team. So when I click here, you'll notice it's going to bring up the new transaction screen. So there's quite a bit that's changed here. It kind of has a similar feel, but a lot of bugs and just some general optimization that was needed before has now been added, as well as a lot more capabilities for filtering and running reports and saving those reports. So you'll notice there are now 5 or 6 freeze columns over here. This helps you keep your spot as you're moving through your transaction fields over here. So I can customize actually which of these. So these 3 by default have to stay, but the next 3 are customizable. So I might only care about last name, address, and I might have some kind of transaction ID that I want over here, or maybe I want closing date or sales price. I can customize that and kind of keep those front and center as I move through my transaction fields. I can also, this was always here, but I can flip and say, show me 100 entries. And it'll quickly pull up 100 entries, and you'll notice that this is moving a lot faster. One bit of feedback that we got quite a bit was that the filtering, or I guess the reordering of columns using all different fields would change as you move from page to page in the sheet. We've now optimized that so that if I sort by transaction amount here, it's going to filter all the way down. If I go to my last page, it's going to stay sorted, and it will show me now those values that have 0. So that's a big improvement. Another thing, and probably the biggest thing that's happening here, is we've allowed for custom filters and a way to filter based on any field in the platform. So what I mean by that is if I come into my filter screen, you'll notice that there are these this option to save current filters. And I've created a filter here, which I've saved, called Zillow and 72031. So what this is going to allow me to do is I can create, in this case, I created a filter which said, show me everything that's closed over this date range with this lead source in this postal code. And I've saved that as a filter so I can quickly access that. So you might have all kinds of different things that you're looking at frequently. You can just pop in here, click on that save filter, or you can come in and create a new one. So you'll notice that some fields that previously were not filterable, such as dates. So show me everything that has a listing expiration date between October 1st and October 31st. I want to know which listings are going to expire. Show me every field, that every transaction that we're tracking that had an open house, and every listing that we were tracking that had an open house in September. I want to know what the progress is on those different deals. Things as simple as I want to know when a sign was installed for certain. It really is the possibilities of what you're able to filter here are pretty endless. I can go into amounts. Show me how many Zillow leads we had that closed with a transaction amount between 500,000 and 1 million. Okay, now I want to see that for our realtor.com leads, or I want to see Zillow leads that were between 0 and 500,000. A lot that could be done there as well. Some of these free text fields that you can filter off of as well. Show me everything that went through a certain TC over a certain time range, or everything that was ran in a certain county. So you get the picture. Every field that's in the platform, or at least 95% of them, only some of the more obscure fields aren't included in here, but you're going to be able to pop in and run filters on them. So get creative with it. There's so much that can be done. Once you get the data in here in Sisu, it should just be like pulling insights out left and right, and then saving those filters and using them for your reporting moving forward. So That's a really big update. There will be more to come on this. I mean, talking about pulling these filters as a tile on your dashboard. You create a filter, say, okay, I want one of my tiles on my dashboard to be Zillow in this area code, and I want to see how many units are in that. So it's really just creating more flexibility in the platform and taking all the data that's in here and using it for more things. One other thing that we want to go over is this expenses. So this is brand new. Just being able to track the general expenses of your brokerage, your rent, your utilities, your salaries, your software costs, technology costs, all those different things that you're paying for that aren't tied to a transaction, we'd recommend putting them in here as expenses. You'll notice you can have the actual expense here, different categories of expenses, so you can track different buckets such as your advertising or your staff, or however you want to categorize things, as well as who was actually paid on it, so you can track who you're paying where, if that's something you're interested in tracking. These factor in on your reports. So if I come into your income report, you'll notice there's a tile here that tallies up all of these expenses, and that factors into your bottom line. So if I'm looking at, hey, I want to know what kind of month we had in August 1st through August 31st. And I submit that, I'll see, okay, we did 9 units for this much volume. This is what our GCI was. This is what we paid our agents. These were our expenses. And this is what the company actually ended up with after paying all that out. Also factored in here are the transactional expenses. So those are added per transaction using the commission form. If I want to factor in royalties or transaction fees paid, or different things that you might want to track in there. So 2 big updates that should make this even better for running your business and knowing all your numbers. Please reach out to the team if you have any questions. We're always here. Just write on the chat box.